Hello CraftDee Family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY project, we'll be creating a pair of wall decor pieces inspired by a set that I saw online at Kirkland's for $99. Now when I saw these pieces, I fell in love with the ironwork and metal panel design, and I knew that it would provide the perfect challenge for me to recreate these items from Dollar Tree and low-cost items from my local home improvement store. Now for your convenience, I provided the list of supplies and tools to make these in the description box below. Now I'm super excited to share this tutorial with you, but before we start, I wanted to say hello and welcome back to my fantastic subscribers and visitors to my channel. Now if you are a new visitor to my channel today and love to create fun and easy DIY projects on a budget, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also click that notification bell so you will be the first to know when a new DIY tutorial is ready to share with you. So now let's jump right into these projects. Now for this project, we will need 2 of the 1x2x8 furring wood strips from the Home Depot. We'll need a piece of foam board from the Dollar Tree. We'll also need a piece of white poster board from the Dollar Tree that we will be converting into this metallic sheet. And we'll also need some bamboo skewers from the Dollar Tree. Now the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our 2 pieces of wood and we're going to cut 4 pieces 30 inches in length. And we're also going to cut 6 pieces 8.5 inches in length. Now we will be staining our wood, so I'm going to protect my work surface and I'm going to gather up my supplies. Now I will be using my favorite Jacobian stain by Minwax for this project. So now I'm going to grab a piece of wood and determine the best side, and then we're going to start to stain. So for the wood, we're going to go ahead and stain the front, the sides, and the ends of each piece. And look how beautiful this wood piece is. Now we're just going to continue to stain the remaining pieces. And now that all the pieces are stained, we're going to sit these to the side to dry. Now that they're dry, we can start assembling our frame. So we're going to be using 2 of the long pieces and 3 of the short pieces for each one of our frames. So now I'm just going to lay out my pieces, and we want to make sure the stained side is down. Now to adhere these together, I'm going to be using some wood glue that I got from the Dollar Tree. Now you want to apply that wood glue on both ends of those short pieces, and then you want to apply it in between the ends of the 2 longer pieces. And then to hold them in place, I'll be adding 4 to 5 staples along the seam on each side. And here are the staples in place. And then for the next piece, you want to leave about a 10-inch opening, and you are going to place it right above the next one. Then you're going to put wood glue on each end and then place it into place and staple it the same way you did the first piece. And then you just want to apply that 3rd piece at the end the same way. And then you want to carefully flip that frame over and clean up any glue that may have oozed out. Now, as an option, you could take a couple of tension clamps and apply one at each end to hold the frame in place while it dries. And then you want to repeat the process for the other frame. Now while they dry, I'm going to take some poster board that I painted with silver spray paint on the shiny side and dabbed with a paper towel to create this unique texture. Now I will link that video demonstrating this in the upper right hand corner of this video, and I'll also place it in the description box below for you to check later. So you want to flip that spray painted poster board over, and you want to start by marking it 10 inches in from the edge. And then you want to draw a line to connect all of those marks. And then you want to mark 10 inches down twice so we can end up with two 10-inch squares. And then once you have your two square pieces, just simply cut those out with a pair of scissors. Then you want to grab your foam board, and what we'll do is apply those two squares to the board with some hot glue. Now applying these squares will give the backing a nice firm application, so we don't have to worry about that shifting when we apply it to our frame. Now once they are both applied, what we're going to do is just to cut them out with an X-Acto knife. And now we have our two squares cut out. Now set those to the sides and grab that leftover scrap of foam board, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut it into some strips. Now these strips are going to be about 1 3/4 inches wide. You just want to make sure they're at least 10 inches long, and then we can cut them down to size later. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out 4 of those strips. Then you're going to take a leftover piece of that painted poster board, and you want to cut 4 pieces out that are larger than those foam strips. Now you want these to be wide enough so you can actually wrap those around those foam strips. So next, we're just going to take our foam board strips, and I'm going to wrap them in that metallic board. Now I just want to fold in the side to make a crease, and then apply hot glue and secure it into place on each side. And now that you have all your strips covered, you kind of want to mark them to match the size of the squares. And then we're going to take them and cut off that excess. So now we're going to take one of our squares, and we're going to take 2 of those strips. And what we want to do with those strips is center them on the board, and we kind of want to space them out evenly. And then just take your hot glue and secure them into place. Now once that piece is done, we can use that as a template. So just take your other piece, sit it on top, and you kind of want to mark it on the side where those pieces were glued down, and we're just going to replicate this on the second piece. And here are both pieces assembled and ready to go. Okay, so now our frame is dry. Now we're going to measure where we want the iron look window panels to be. So we're going to mark down the side 5.5 inches, and we're also going to mark it to 12 inches. And we're going to repeat this on the other side at the wide opening of the frame. Now we're also going to mark the centers of the middle pieces at about 4.25 inches. Now to make my iron, I took a trip to the home improvement store plumbing aisle and I purchased some of this 1/4 inch drip irrigation tubing. Now this product had the width and texture of wrought iron and was also flexible to make curves for my design. It could also be used straightened too. And here is the product and a close-up so you can see what I'm referring to. So the first pieces we're going to cut are the 2 pieces that go across the frame. Now all we want to do is to cut the pieces longer than the opening because we could adjust it later. Now we're going to have these super straight, so I'm going to be inserting a skewer into each piece. And if they look good, just go ahead and trim off the edges of the skewer, and then we're just going to take these pieces and we're going to set those to the side. Now the next piece I'm going to cut is that very top arch. Now I'm just placing the tube inside of the frame at an arch, and I'm going to cut a piece that's a bit longer than that 5.5 inch mark that we made on each side. Then I'm going to take out that arch piece and I'm going to cut another piece just a few inches longer, and this is going to be for the split arch. And once we get that long piece, we're just going to fold it and cut it in half. And then we're just going to form the pieces into a split arch, or kind of like an antenna, test fit it to fit, and make sure that they're longer than that 5.5 inch mark as well. So the last piece we're going to do is the piece that will be down the middle, and so we're going to cut a piece longer than the distance from that 5.5 inch mark down to the center piece of wood. Now we're going to straighten this out, and we're going to take a skewer and insert it into the tube as well. And since this is longer than the skewer, we'll have to put a second skewer in there, and this would just insert it right behind it. And once everything is in, we're just going to trim off those ends. And now that all the pieces are cut, we can test fit everything to make sure that we make any last minute adjustments as needed. Now everything looks good, so we can start gluing everything down. Now the first pieces we want to secure are those 2 bars going across the frame, and we want to secure them at that 12 inch mark and that 5.5 inch mark that we made earlier. And then we're going to flip the frame over, and we're going to place that top arch piece into place, making sure that the ends are right on top of that 5.5 inch bar going across. And we're just going to hot glue this into place. Then next we will put on that split arch, and I'm going to curve each piece a little so it'll fit into that corner nice and snug. And once everything looks good, you just apply hot glue to all the overlapping pieces and that corner piece, and make sure everything is secure in place. Now since this is curved, it may want to budge a little, but we can go ahead and put a clip into place while it dries. And then we're going to take that other piece on the other side, and we're going to curve it, apply it with glue in the same way we did the first one. And then we just want to make sure this completely dries. Now once the pieces are dry, you want to carefully trim off the excess with a pair of scissors. And then we're going to flip the piece over to the back, and we want to apply that last piece into place. We're just going to apply the tip of that long piece where that split arch ends, and then secure it all the way down to the center of that piece of wood. And here are all of the pieces in place. And now we're just going to flip the frame around to the bottom side, and we want to grab those metallic pieces we put together earlier. Now I'm going to lay the frame on top and center that metallic piece on the back. I want to go ahead and flip the frame over, and then once it's nice and centered, I want to secure it in place with hot glue. So now, as a final touch, what I want to do is trim out the opening with tubing. Now I want to start with the top and the bottom piece, and what I want to do is cut and fit the tubing to fit inside of the frame. You do want to cut the tube longer than the opening, and then all you have to do after that is cut it down and adjust it to make sure you have a nice snug fit. And once it does fit, you want to kind of straighten it into place, apply some hot glue along the path from corner to corner, and then just take your cut piece and fit it snugly against the wood into place. And then the next piece you want to do is along the top the same way. And here's the top piece in place. And now you can do your sides, and the sides will butt up to the top and bottom pieces. Now once all the pieces are in place, flip it over to the back and just apply a line of hot glue to all of the seams of the pieces that you just applied. And here are both frames completed. Now all you have to do is to add a standard picture hanging hook on the back and then place your pieces on display. Oh my gosh, wow, I love how these turned out. Now I love using wood in these types of projects, and this wood was super cheap, but it looks awesome when it's stained. And I am so happy with the way that this tubing worked out. Now I only used 18 feet out of the package, which came to a cost of $1.30. Now I definitely plan on using this again in a future project. And you all know I love to use my faux metal technique, and it worked out perfectly in this project. Let me know in the comments what you think, and also let me know what kind of high-end projects you would like to see me create in the future. Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So Crafty EE on Facebook for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Thank you so much for visiting and checking out my tutorial today. If you like videos like these and don't want to miss the next one, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button below and turning on that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.